In this video, I wanted to show how to draw the ribbing of like a plate. I've been reading the book Perspective Made Easy by Ernest Norling, and I wanted to do this because it shows an example in the book, but it doesn't. I guess I really had to think about it until I could understand it. So I thought I would give it a try and show the whole process of drawing it to trying to draw the ribbing on the plate. Some plates are fancy and they have certain kind of have like this texture that kind of comes up off it. So let me start with a plate. I'm trying to ghost all of my ellipses, and when I say ghost, I mean practice an ellipse before I draw it. A bit too big. Let me try it again. Okay, we have a plate. To start off, I want to draw a dot just to show where I think the center of the plate lies. Next, I'm going to draw a line coming from the center. I'm going to ghost all of my lines, as I commonly say I do, or I try to. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to draw a couple more lines. Basically, there's going to be lines for the internal inset, which is like this part here, and then there's the external part, because you know, if you think of a plate, some plates have like a center part that's more, it's like a depression, you know, it's more concave than the other part of the plate. About there, and about here. Maybe a little bit like that. Okay, now I'm going to draw the lines down. There. There. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the edges here and here of the plate. Okay. There's a lot of lines to draw just for these initial parts. About here. Okay, now I'm going to ghost. Okay, cool. I should have drawn this line. I just wanted to cover that in quickly, as quick as I can do it. Okay, so now I want to think about ellipses to help me map it. So there's the outer plate and there's the inner plate. I also want to set a boundary for the ellipse. Based on the example in the book, it looks like you try to aim for a circle about the size of the plate, as if you weren't viewing it in perspective. So let's say about here. I'm going to extend the line. About there. Okay, so now I'm going to draw half of a circle, like from here to here, and then I'm going to do one from here to here. Now I'm going to do the other one. Sorry, I don't like it. I missed it first of all, and I kind of didn't do good with that, hitting the points that I want to. I missed it. Sometimes when you try to do these things, it can take a good deal of ghosting your lines until you could successfully execute the line. Not happy with it. Still not happy. That's a little better. Maybe I should execute it in smaller portions rather than one whole swing. I was off. Sometimes doing that and not trying to execute the whole thing may be beneficial to you. Like here, and then here. Yeah, that works, I think. So now what we're going to do is we're going to draw some lines. I want to keep the plate relatively simple. The example in the book kind of does like, oh man, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It does about like, it makes 12 slices. I think I want to keep it to like 4 for simplicity's sake. And I'll plot my dots. I'm putting a dot here and a dot here. Dot here. And a dot here. And I'm going to draw lines from here to these dots. I'm going to ghost my lines as I do it. There. I was a little off. There. I was off again. I think I was off again. Okay, that works, I think. So now I want to start off by doing, well, the front line and the back line is kind of taken care of. We don't really have to think about it so much because it's already taken care of because it's drawn through over here. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to drop lines. I was a little off here, but I'll show you. So we have points here, 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 here. We have one here, but we're not going to draw it. So we're going to drop lines straight down, focusing on just the internal first to the internal depression of the plate. Now that I think about it, I guess you kind of have to do it for, you can't just get away with 4, you have to make some more. So I'm going to plot maybe a couple more, just 2 more lines to show. the example in full. About there. Okay. Now to drop down our lines. I keep wanting to call these lines plumb lines. I don't know why. But the important thing is for the internal half circle that we're dropping it down to the plate. Interesting thing, from the example that I'm seeing, I should be going all the way down, intersecting both, like here and here. My line curved a little. I should have tried to make it more apparent. I just drew the back to the ribbing. I kind of didn't make it clear enough, as clear as I wanted it to be. Got that one. And there. Okay. Now we are going to draw the outer part of the plate by dropping down the lines. And I'll go through the 2 points, as I said before. So we're really drawing through like a point here and here, but you know, when you draw the line, you could just like go through it to this segment, like the front half of the plate. Just a little over. You get a lot of overlap with everything. I kind of curved that line a little bit more than I wanted to. I didn't really want to curve it at all, but it's what happens. Now for the last one. Okay. We have our lines, and now we need to draw kind of lines that kind of curve out on the plate that go. Now that I think of it, maybe I should have drawn the lines as I went about. But I think I can make it work. You know, a lot of the lines, some of them are going to look a bit more weird based on that perspective, but they all kind of go kind of like that. You really have to be thinking through your forms in 3D space, how they sit, because it does get a little ugly. Extremely ugly. I'm trying to be aware of all the little things. It's a bit maddening in my opinion. It's actually kind of fun. It's kind of a bit like a puzzle to a certain extent. really hard to think of. I keep wondering if I'm going wrong somewhere. I guess, no. It's very fine. I keep thinking I need to put one here and here. I think I got it. I keep wondering, did I get the first one? Yeah, the first one's kind of hard to see, like the one on dead center, because you don't really see it above all of that fluff. I apologize. Perhaps I should have done this on separate layers to show the initial stuff before before all of the other stuff. I do apologize for that, because like now what the example does is in some instances it kind of like made a bunch of these like connecting ribs. I'll do them all. It's interesting because it's like the ones closer to you kind of follow a bit of a wave pattern. I keep thinking seashells for some reason. I don't know why. Oops. Or like a soap dish. But yeah, something like that. It does look a little off in some areas because my ellipses were not perfectly straight. There was a bit of a bulge on the right side I'm seeing compared to the left side, which looks a little flatter. But I think I kind of made it work. Let me know in the comments what you think. Yeah, it's interesting to think of it, considering how you map certain curvature on round objects. I never really thought of it. Like, I've done stuff with gourds and pumpkins, and I've thought of it like that, but, you know, it goes to show you that a lot of the initial construction is extremely important to the whole. Well, if you have any questions, please ask them in the comments. I wanted to like expand upon an example that didn't have any explanation within. I mean, there was some explanation, but it was kind of a more advanced example within Ernest Norling's book, Perspective Made Easy. I'm not trying to sell you on it. It's like a classic book. I'm actually surprised. Like, I wonder if it is public domain. I don't know if it's public domain. I have a physical copy, so it's hard for me to say, but you'd be surprised the books out there that are public domain. I highly recommend you look out for them, because sometimes information is deemed extremely important, or and becomes pretty much made available freely to the public. But sometimes people will buy rights to them to reprint them, or sometimes if it is like free public domain, people could still sell them and distribute them in any way they want to. So do be aware of that. But sometimes if they do that, they may edit copy, which could be a bit dangerous. Maybe not dangerous, but just like you may not get the raw deal of it all. I mean, sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes books are dated. But, you run into that sometimes. So, maybe try out both. Hard to say. Yeah, I'm not trying to sell you on it, but I do like the book. I think I learned a few things that I found really interesting. But yeah, if you have a question, please ask in the comments. If you like the video, please like it. And if you like my channel, please subscribe. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.